Real quick before we get into the video, if you want to see the reaction live with me, follow me on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming the games there from now on. I'm going to stream the highlights live there. So join me on Twitch. And then later on, I'm going to cut them up and upload it to the YouTube channel. So again, if you want to watch me react to it live and react to it with me, follow me on Twitch. The quality on these two videos might be a little crazy, but it's going to be a lot better from here on out. So follow me on Twitch. I'll catch y'all over there. What's good? Welcome back to another reaction video. Today, this video says the biggest trade in WNBA history. And we're talking about Brittany Griner is free. And we're gonna react to a video, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts on the whole trade that we did and all that. Before we get started, make sure you like, comment, share, hit the subscribe button. I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. We gotta get this. Gonna be an interesting one right here. This gonna be controversial, regardless of how you see it. It'll probably be controversial. But we're gonna go to it.
I spoke with Brittany Griner. She's safe. She's on a plane. She's on her way home.
Just sincere gratitude for President Biden and his entire administration. Today, my family is whole, but as you all are aware, there's so many other families who are not whole.
The United States just conducted the biggest trade in sports history today. As a matter of fact, it's such a big trade.
Oh yeah, this is Microphone. Y'all subscribe to his channel too. He be putting out some fire stuff. Yeah, we're gonna get into this.
That it only involves one person that is truly involved in basketball. It's the conclusion of a situation we covered a couple months ago on this channel, and we're gonna break down everything for you guys here today. Before we get to the content, this video is going to be very difficult to cover because it's obviously a very polarizing topic, and a lot of people feel very strongly about their side. So I just hope we can have a nice little conversation here, and I'm gonna do my best to keep the information as balanced as I possibly can. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro.
He didn't say the break. Maybe that's football. This finna be ooh-wee.
Could you imagine if you purchased your delusional Laker fan family member one of these bad boys, a real gold Los Angeles Lakers pendant with a white gold necklace that won't shop? Without overpaying gold
this, but that is clean.
To complete box right now for the holiday. And thank you.
You want a necklace?
Brittany Griner boarded.
Follow that link.
Mic check 1212. What's going on, everybody? Brittany Griner boarded a Russian flight with some marijuana memorabilia, well, a marijuana vape in her carry-on. To be honest, this is something that I've done a lot. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I have done this one thing that she has done a lot. I mean, I usually rely on this one particular substance to get me through flights because I have a lot of trouble sleeping. And ever since she got arrested for this, I'm terrified of doing this, even if it's a domestic flight. It's a completely normal thing to do. And unfortunately for her, Russia and the United States are in the midst of a huge conflict. And as a result, Russia took advantage of this. They decided to incarcerate her. And after a couple of trials that were pushed back, Brittany Griner was sentenced to 10 years in Russian prison. A lot of people were wondering what the hell she was doing on a Russian flight to begin with.
She was playing basketball over there. I feel like you can't be like, why are you over there? You got you can't give an opinion if you don't know what she was over there for, what was going on. And just for her bringing that on the plane, she should have known how the US and Russia are right now. There's a huge
well, a lot of people don't know this because unfortunately women's basketball isn't necessarily at the top of trending sports, but most WNBA stars also play in the Russian basketball league because Russia happens to pay them significantly more than the WNBA does. And when you take the WNBA salary and Russian basketball at the same time, it actually results in a pretty decent living. I mean, they're making more money than I am for sure. Yeah, they're not making LeBron James type of money, but it's still decent money for sure. Without a doubt, this situation was exploited, but the United States definitely had their hands tied. What are you supposed to do in this instance? Because you are currently not necessarily on the best terms with Russia, and at the same time, with respect to Brittany Griner, we obviously want her to return home safe with her family, but there's kind of a double-edged sword at play here.
Sure is.
Doing this, you're essentially giving back Russia a huge criminal in order. to get Brittany Griner back. And in my opinion, this is where things get really interesting.
And this is the part that gets controversial about the whole thing. I want to say this. I don't think there's not one person that's like, they're happy that Brittany is able to go home. I don't think there's like, if you just, Brittany's home. I don't think anyone's like, that's a bad, oh man, why is she home? Like, keep her over there. Like, I don't think anyone feels like that. It's this next part that people are like, they should have left her. I know that sounds awful. Like, if they could have got Brittany home, like, pretty much free, of course, man, you want Brittany to go home. But this is the part where people are like split. This is what makes it controversial. Some people are like, yes, she's home. Do what you can to get her home. There's another group, including me, that's like, they shouldn't have done this. They shouldn't have done this right here.
Because I feel like every human being in the world would handle this situation differently. Well, it seems like the United States definitely came up with their conclusion today, as we found out this morning that the United States have made a huge trade, and this information isn't coming to us from Chef Tranya or Adrian Wojnarowski. It's not coming to us from Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter. This news is coming to us from ESPN. According to ESPN, U.S. officials, Russia frees.
This is where I'm like, if we had to give this man up, we should have just like, I'm sorry. You're going to have to do that time. I'm sorry. Unless we figure something else out where it's not him that we're giving up, then I'd be cool with it. If it's nothing crazy, like nothing that'll hurt us in the long run, I'm cool with it. This, to me, doesn't make any sense at all.
WNBA player Brittany Griner in a prisoner swap with the United States releasing Russian arms dealer Victor Bout. And immediately you're feeling conflicted, and most people should. On one hand, obviously, this is an individual that was taken hostage by a regime that was clearly trying to be aggressive.
So you wanted to go home.
Trying to get something back. And on one hand, you probably feel like you got fleeced in this trade.
You did.
The Russians clearly just took Brittany Griner so they could take one of their hostages back. If you really want to just write this trade out on paper, he essentially got back a WNBA star who's in her early 30s in return for a dangerous arms dealer whose nickname is the Merchant of Death.
See what I mean? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. This is where I'm like, I'm sorry. You just got to do the time. I'm like, this man's nickname is the Merchant of Death. Like, that's his nickname. And nicknames like that, you don't just give yourself that nick. Hey, I'm the Merchant of Death. No, you don't get that nickname just cause. That man earned that nickname. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I don't think this was a good idea. If we could have got Brittany back for something not as significant, I'm cool with it. This man, he don't work for that nickname. He clearly Russia's like, aren't like clearly like they go to, like, come on, man.
And in this situation, I'm trying to figure out what the United States' angle is. I don't think the United States government woke up one day and said,
you know what, we're gonna do a really good thing today. We're gonna trade this dangerous war criminal. And
I hope they have a plan, because they're making me nervous.
Get her home.
I personally just don't believe in that. Now, a lot of people are upset about this, and for the most part, here's the reception that we have from most people. We have Joe Biden saying, moments ago, I spoke to Brittany Griner. She is safe. She's on a plane, and she is on her way home. You have Micah Parsons, who quote tweet.
Micah was pissed, which I get him. I get him because he did do it. He tweeted out something later talking about like he has family in the Marines. But look.
He did this and said, we still not voting for you, which, to be honest, like, I'm a huge Cowboys fan, as you guys on microphone would know, and I felt like this deserved its own video because I thought it was just a wild thing to wake up to. So we're going to probably cover that on microphone later on today. Now, at the same time, we have a statement from the WNBA. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert issued the following statement regarding Brittany Griner. There's not been a day over the past 10 months where we all haven't had Brittany Griner on our minds and in our hearts, and that has now turned into a collective wave of joy and relief knowing that she will soon be reunited with her family. the WNBA player community, and her friends. BJ has shown extraordinary courage and dignity in the face of enormous adversity. The WNBA is grateful beyond measure to the Biden administration, the special presidential envoy for hostage affairs, and all those who played a role in bringing BJ home today. Our hope is that Paul Whelan and every wrongfully detained American will be returned home safely and as soon as possible. So Paul Whelan is an individual that was an American spy in Russia.
See, this is, if we were going to trade the other, like that one dude, this is the one we should have tried to get back. We should have got him back because he was, oh man. Man was a spy in Russia and got caught. He'd been in jail for 4 years.
That was caught, essentially, and he was incarcerated for the past 4 years. A lot of people are upset at the fact that the United States weren't able to get him instead of Brittany Griner, who, with all due respect to Griner, is an individual that just entertains us. If you want to really strip it down to like the very
if we want to keep it all the way real, when it comes to, we just gave up like a war, like merchant, the merchant of death. For this is gonna sound terrible, but I gotta say it. We gave up the merchant of death for a WNBA player that nobody watches. Like that is literally what we hate that for our entertainment, and they don't even get ratings like that. And now I know they did. Of course, she should have known that you can't bring that on the plane or whatever. But her getting 10 years, we know it was unfair. But at the same time, us giving up the merchant of death did not make sense to me.
Individual does. At the same time, there's a lot more to that. Apparently, that trade wasn't on the table at all. If I was to imagine like both Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin being the general managers of my team, I would definitely say Putin would be an absolutely ruthless NBA GM. I mean, this trade is not balanced at all whatsoever. At all. It's a really freaking bad trade if you want to get down to it. Terrible. Obviously, I'm empathetic towards Brittany Griner. Exactly. Am I empathetic to the point where I feel comfortable giving up an individual that is capable of increasing the amount of deaths?
Read this. I don't think y'all are understanding what this. He was ready to sell up to $20 million in weapons, including surface-to-air missiles to shoot down U.S. helicopters when they made the claim at his 2012 sentencing.
Where I feel comfortable giving up an individual that is capable of increasing the amount of.
About convicted on all 4 counts, including conspiring to kill Americans and conspiring to provide material support to terrorists.
Deaths that we're going to see as a result of him being present in Russian society? No, I'm not. Just gonna be honest. I really am not. And at the same time, again, I really feel empathy for Brittany Griner. Her situation sucks. I don't think there was another way to get her, which is also what makes this situation very tricky. There was no right answer to handle this situation from the very beginning. And that's what makes this situation very unique and very difficult. And at the end of the day, both sides are gonna try to spin it in a particular way, but at the very core of what this is, I think it's a very unfair and imbalanced trade. Now, I really want to preach empathy, even though I don't necessarily think it's a great trade. You have to understand what this poor woman went through as a result of this really bad situation that she found herself.
See, and this is what I'm saying. I don't think anyone is like, we don't, if there was a chance for Brittany Griner to come back to America and not, like, no trades involved, I don't think anyone's gonna be like, no, we don't want her to come back. Like, I don't think anybody's saying that. It's just the fact that who they gave up.
Russia sent Brittany Griner to a penal colony. Okay, yes, I know it says penal. Calm your down. So here is the report from about a month ago. U.S. basketball star Brittany Griner has arrived in a prison colony in the Russian Republic of Mordovia, 300 miles southeast of Moscow, to begin serving out a 9-year sentence on drug charges, her lawyers say. The announcement by Griner's legal team was the first confirmation of the American's whereabouts since Russian authorities transferred her from a Moscow detention center nearly 2 weeks ago, a period of time typical for Russia's opaque prison transfer system. At the time, they said Brittany was doing well as could be expected and trying to stay strong as she adapts to her new environment. Considering that this is a very challenging period for her, there will be no further comments from us. Former inmates tell NPR that Russia's prison colonies are known for harsh conditions and punishing work regimens rooted in the Soviet Union's Gulag prison system.
Boy, they have Brittany Griner in the Gulag. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. They have Brittany Griner in the Gulag. Oh
Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic.
This man just... So I might react to this one Micah Parsons. I don't know. But I'll catch you on the next one. Y'all comment below what y'all think. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Till then, I'm out. Peace.